with all the things that men have earned to make things that frightens the world still can't help us, still can't help us, still can't help us. Louisiana. Children go to school, yeah. Be smarter than your father, don't be a fool. Let the blind be led. I taking care of them instead. Lord, deliver us. Let the naked be clothed. Let the blind be led. Let the hungry be fed. And the aged be protected. Lord, deliver us. Lord, deliver us. Lord, deliver us. 'Cause with all the things that men have learned to make things that goes around the world still can't help us, still can't help us, still can't help us. Louisiana. Children go to school. Be smarter than your father, don't be a fool. Let the people be led. Take care of them instead. Lord, deliver us. Lord, deliver us. Lord, deliver us. 'Cause with all the things that men have earned to make things that frightens the world still can't help us, still can't help us, still can't help us. Louisiana. Children go to school, yeah. Be smarter than your father, don't be a fool. Let the blind be led. I taking care of them instead. Lord, deliver us. Lord, deliver us. It's not every day we're gonna be the same way. There must be a change somehow. There are bad times and good times too. So have a little faith in what you do, 'cause you don't seem to realize got to face in life. Today you're up, tomorrow you're down. So thank God that you're still around town. Whoa, my brother. To work like slaves just to eat a piece of bread. But as we go along each day, we'll find happiness to soothe our mind, 'cause it's not every day we're gonna be the same way. There must be a change somehow. There are bad times and good times too. So have a little faith in what you do. Oh yeah. Can you get me?
gonna be the same way. No, 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 no.
must be a change. Sometimes there are bad times and good times. So have a little faith in what you do. Oh yeah, it's true. It's true, my brother. It's true, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh yeah, it's true. You gotta have a little faith in everything you do. Yeah, have a little faith, my brother. Have a little faith, my brother.
Yes. We say greetings and evening to each and everyone out there. Yeah, man. Place wet, damp, and obviously cold. We are talking about thinking. We are talking about back into school. But this is not school. We are go college. Listen.
Spirit put on my heart today is this is the time for sovereign thinking. It is the time for choosing to think for yourself. This is not the time for the sheeps. This is not the time for you to be allowing social trends and internet trends to govern how you think and to control your mindset and to control the discourse of how you see the world, because it is a projection. It's a projection created by those who are choosing to, well, you know what? It's not even anybody else. It's us. If you want to be ignorant and you do not want to seek inside for the true power, the true awakening, and take responsibility for who you are, then you're going to be led down a garden path. And that's what's happening. You know, people are being led down garden paths. People think they know things, but they don't know anything. And one of the things that came to my mind this morning, my consciousness, was a simple thing like veganism and food. I saw so many people trying to rush down to KFC to get this new vegan burger. And I was just walking through the forest yesterday and I was thinking to myself, well, I wasn't even thinking, it came to my consciousness. What came to my consciousness was that as much as meat and eating meat has had a negative effect on the atmosphere, it is still a part of the natural cycle of living, because animals always die, right? And obviously if you're in an indigenous community, if you're rearing animals, if you live on a farm, whatever, those animals are going to die. So you eating those animals that have been reared with love of the highest vibration that you have a connection to is actually a very positive act. It's about participating within the food cycle. You know, it's like by you eating the food, by you eating it, it's being transmuted through you. But instead, and also your DNA at the moment is programmed to that. You know, your cells and your body, your physiology has adapted to carnivorous living, to eating meat. But then now you want to have veganism, which to me, I thought, eating living food off of the land is the best type of veganism you can get, really. People talk about eating when it comes to veganism, but veganism is a lifestyle. It means not having any products that are from animals, you know, leather shoes and things like this. So it's not just about what you eat. But what they've been able to do is capitalize off of the awakening. And how that works is, because everybody wants to eat healthy, they've now got vegan this, vegan that. And without even thinking about things, everybody's like, oh, let's just eat this, let's just eat this. When you actually check out the ingredients and what it's made of absolute shit. And when you look at, okay, the KFC burger, which is made from mycoprotein, which is generated in a lab, when you really think about it, your body, your genetics does not even know anything about that particular food substance, which is not actually food. But your genes, your body doesn't know anything about that. And so it's now having to adapt to eating this food which isn't even food. Mycoprotein is grown in a lab, so it's not even food. It's not even mushrooms. It's not even food. It's a type of fungus, but it's grown in a lab. So your body is taking in this energy, and you're thinking, well, I'm being a vegan, I'm doing so well for the planet, I'm doing so well for my body. You're feeding yourself absolute crap. So how does that make any sense? But because it's got vegan on it, you'll eat it. And that's what I'm saying about this usurping of the awakening. the revolution will not be televised, meaning that yes, you can get guidance and seek guidance outside, but you have to start employing some cognitive thinking. You've got to start making decisions. You've got to be conscious. To be conscious means to be aware. And so, you know, we have to start thinking about what it is that we're doing and what trends we are following. The internet can be a vehicle to dictate your thoughts, your emotions. Everything that you think will be triggered by this particular network, this internet. So, and that's the way of controlling the masses. Okay, if I was to put something on Facebook under a fake page that says, let's say, whoever, everybody would respond to whatever it is that I post on that page as gospel fact without checking anything, without even knowing whether that's my page or not, whether it's me that's sharing it. That's dangerous. Think about what I'm saying. We've become so complacent that we allow ourselves to be constantly triggered by everything that we see, not knowing that everything that we see is a projection that has been created by somebody else who is trying to control our energy. The most powerful commodity on this planet is energy. Whether it's energy that you give through your attention, whether it's energy that you give through your work, moving things, energy is the most important and powerful resource on this planet. Most of the wars are about energy, oil, energy, land, abundance. You know, these are the things that actually carry any value. Humans carry value, hence why there's all of this trafficking. Indigenous humans carry value, hence why there is subjugation and abuse in the indigenous communities. So we have to be going to go into our minds. We have to be conscious about the choices that we make. Those choices have to make sense. They have to make sense. They have to be for a reason. They have to be for a purpose. We cannot allow ourselves to be constantly triggered by everything that we see. I saw a post being put out about the Kobe Bryant thing, God rest his soul, if he is dead. About, the TV, some TV woman was calling him the N-word. And everybody's triggered, like, really? So if I just put that out, that means that hundreds of millions of people are now going to be angry and be distracted from what's really going on. I even posted up on my page where there was a cartoon in 2016 kind of showed a skit similar to, this with Kobe Bryant actually having a crash in a helicopter. Predictive programming. So if all of this information is already out there and we know that this reality that we're living is a simulation and it's created by the person who is observing the perspective, the experience, then we should surely be able to see that everything that is happening has already been written. Everything that is happening has already been planned. Okay, predictive programming. So they also know that you're going to react because we put it on the internet. They've been studying how you think and how you move and what you do for the past 20 years. Google's only purpose is to collect information and data on you so it can now sell you products. It can determine how you think. It can know what to send you. It can trigger you. Who's in control of your mind? Who's in control of your reality? I have conversations with people and I'm telling them things that come to me through my experience and come to me through my connection to source. And they're telling me that they want to verify it on Google. Who put the information on Google? Google is not God. You're seeking outside for the internet, which is inside. The internet is the Christ consciousness grid. It's your connection to all things. It's your ability to know all things through silence, through your connection to all things. But rather than strengthening that antenna, we are investing in building a false reality on the internet, which then seeks to determine our way of thinking, our way of doing things. It actually is insane. And Spirit just wanted me to really get things into perspective and ask people, what is triggering you? Like, what is controlling your reality? Because if it is everything that's going on this internet, then you've got a problem. If it's everything that's going on in politics, then you've got a problem. If it's everything that's going on in the world around you, then you have a problem. Because everything around you is geared towards keeping you imprisoned. It's geared towards keeping you from knowing who you truly are and exercising that true power of sovereignty. Because if you do not give your power to the system, if you do not give your power to this government, to this way of living, let's call it that, it will perish. it will die. It will cease to exist. But because we're so distracted all the time and always looking for other people to guide our, our path and to tell us what we can have and what we can't have and what's achievable and what's not achievable, we are limited. I'm not limited because I'm choosing to free myself, but we have a limited perception of who it is that we really are. And so my spirit today was asking me to encourage each and every one of you to break out of that spell of cognitive dissonance and really start asking questions about the things that you are seeing. Really start asking questions about the things that you are doing, because I'm seeing a lot of sheep behavior. Just because it has the word vegan on it doesn't even mean that it's healthy. It's not even alive. Mycoprotein is not even alive. What is that genetically doing to your body? I see people talking about being vegans and they never even tasted a vegetable. Like, what the hell is going on? Humans, what the hell is going on? Grand writing, brother. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's actually inhuman. It's just ridiculous. And so, yeah, this message is to say, wake up. Stop being triggered by everything. Stop being triggered by everything. They kill somebody and everyone's like, oh, like, really? Those people belong to that industry. They have this particular lifestyle that they have because it comes with being in that industry. The fact that he had Mambo written on his shoes tells you that he is working with certain energies. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, because if you know, you're here to know, right? And so you're here to know. And once you know, you learn to master. You learn to utilize the powers that are available here for yourself. Now, we don't know what's happened to him. We don't know if that whole thing was created for our entertainment. I'm not saying that that's fact. I'm just saying that we have to start thinking for yourself. Stop letting things outside you trigger you. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because if you're triggered constantly by everything, then you're not in control of your own mind. You're not in control of your own spirit. You're not in spirit. You're not the sole sovereign vessel. The God is not speaking through you. God is not living through you. The source is not permeating through you. You are being controlled. So please, 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 please think about what you're doing. Think about what you're saying. Think about what you're triggered by. Dig deeper. Don't just take things at face value, because the most powerful commodity on this planet is your energy. And whatever you give your intention to, it grows. Okay? And it becomes so because the first law of the universe tells us that everything is mental, meaning everything is created from within the consciousness of the mind. So who's controlling your mind? Because that is going to be essentially who's controlling your reality. And if it's not you, then this is what this awakening is about. It's about you learning to be center stage within your own consciousness. It means not being drip-fed news that now you're walking and running with, like, the people then. You don't know the people and you don't know the situation. The best way for you to know is to go and pray. Check in with yourself. Ask Spirit, is this something I need to be giving my energy to, my attention to? Stop being triggered. Stop being triggered. So somebody says the N word on the TV and now all of a sudden we're all upset. Somebody's trying to trigger you. Someone's trying to distract you from the fact that real shit is happening. I mean, and I'm probably going to get some flack for this, but I was also listening to the radio this morning whilst I was in the cab. And on one of the radio shows, they talked about anti-Semitism. And this man came on and talked about how it's one of the oldest forms of abuse against a group of people. And I sat in the cab station and I said I'm in the cab and I was like, no, it isn't. This has been going on from the beginning of time. It's just that the actual word anti-Semitism is for a specific group of people. And so I actually Googled and thought, okay, so what's the name for when indigenous people are being persecuted against? Oh, they've just given it a blanket term of racism, which is for everyone. So really, you've got to start thinking about who is really controlling this shit. And who decides whether your worth is valuable, or whether your life is valuable or not, whether your story is valuable or not. That's your job. Because if you leave it to somebody else to define who you are, if you leave it to someone else to celebrate you, if you leave it to someone else to acknowledge you, guess what? It's not going to happen. Why? Because it's not in their best interest. If someone's trying to control you, they're not going to tell you how great you are they? You got to figure that out for yourself. That's what this whole awakening is about. You have to be able to look beyond the deception, but they bank on the fact that humans are lazy. They bank on the fact that people are ignorant. They bank on the fact that people have been programmed so much that they want to be drip-fed everything. So even when they're being encouraged to activate superpowers, the God-divine powers that they've been given, they don't want to do it because it's too much work. You know, there's too much work to live independently, to live consciously. Somebody said to me the other day, you know, we all want to live, you know, off the land, but what about, you know, the government pays the rent and da-da-da-da. And I was like, that's absolute ridiculousness. You have built a false security on a life which is like 0.5% of what you are owed. What is your divine birthright? You know, there is so much land and abundance everywhere, but because we've been programmed into thinking that people own land, because we've been programmed into thinking that people own land, then we've developed a mentality of scarcity, when actually this planet is abundant and rich, and there are spaces everywhere. Everywhere. That's the truth. If you was to look at a map of this planet, you would see that there are places that people don't even live there. Not because it's uninhabitable, but because capitalism and all of these different structures have hurdled people into small communities because of jobs and access to money and finances and all of these things. And in your mind, if you can only see high-rise buildings, if you can only see people in poverty suffering or with the mindset of suffering, if you can only see everybody trying to go for the same limited opportunities, then you're gonna think that the reality is scarce. You're gonna think that there isn't enough for everyone. You're gonna think that this is all you've got. But look up. This is why I come to nature every day, to gain perspective of what's real. There is no limit, and everything bends and adjusts in order to create more space for life, because life is what is real. That's what's real. We're here to live and to learn and to grow and to master. But all of these things that are going on in the world right now are here to really show you who's in control of what you think and what you feel, who is in control of your life. Because this time of awakening is about taking control. It's about being conscious. It's about not allowing yourself to constantly be triggered by every goddamn thing. Really? We really need to stop this. We really, really need to stop this and start thinking and feeling. Not every fight is ours to get involved in. How many times have we been pushed into and triggered into arguments and fights that don't have nothing to do with us? It has nothing to do with us. Each day you have to decide what kind of life you want to live. Do you want to be free mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically? Or are you just going to be triggered by everything that you see on the internet? They call them trends for a reason. They're creating the trends, and you're just following them. Following them without thinking. Yes, a life has been lost. We don't know exactly how. The best way? Give up your prayers and thanksgiving to the Most High and ask that whatever truth needs to be revealed, and you keep on moving. And you try and live your life in a way which allows you to be free. Mentally, emotionally, physically. But we cannot sit there wasting all of our time being triggered by things that have nothing to do with us. We cannot sit here wasting our time doing things idly and not really thinking about why we're doing it. If you have not seen a vegetable and you're calling yourself a vegan, you've got a problem. You've got a problem. Okay? We have to understand that there is a natural way of doing things. And in this time, there is a battle. And that battle is between artificial intelligence and organic intelligence, God intelligence, that which is natural. Vegan burgers from KFC is artificial intelligence. What is that telling your cells in your body about life, about light? Nothing. Nothing. This is what spirit. You're eating animals. At least they have consciousness. At least that they have had life pumping through them. And I don't eat meat, so I'm not advocating that you do. I'm saying that it's insane to think that this mass-produced veganism is going to be for your benefit. Especially now that they've got, you know, this NHS thing where everybody's organs are basically up for sale. Really think about what you're doing, people. There is nothing more healthy than something that comes out of the ground and something that you've planted yourself. And yes, we're not necessarily in that place right now, all of us, but we should be working towards it. If you really want to be free, you have to start inside. Everything is mental. Everything starts within your mind and your consciousness. I've been experimenting on my own self. You see, this internet, this social media thing, you have to be very mindful because you're tapping into the collective consciousness. People are bringing out their shadows and demonic selves through this vessel and directing negative energy and negative forces towards others. You wake up and you're triggered by everything that you see because it's on the internet. No, This is why I have not been on the internet for the past couple of weeks. And I don't care about my business and how much it's going to build my business, because I believe that that's another false perception. Yes, it can help your business, but what is your business? If your business is going to be triggered by what you see online, if you're trying to fit into a mold that everybody else is doing, it's only going to seek to make you feel even more despondent. It's taking away the uniqueness of who you are. How many, how to be a coach and how to create online courses and all these things, how many of them do you actually see? So how many of them do you think are actually successful? How many of those people actually know what they're talking about? I've seen so many people who go online and they actually talk. It tells you, go and find a topic that you're interested in, research it, and put together a class and teach it like you're an expert. Requires experience. To be on the ledge of knowing, you can collect as much knowledge as you want. You don't apply it until you actually jump off the ledge of knowing and experience some shit. So you cannot be an expert by just reading a book. You cannot be an expert by just going up on YouTube and binging, because it's the mind. We're not trying to stay in the mind right now. We're trying to connect the mind with the heart so that you can expand your consciousness. But don't allow people don't allow yourself to be kept within a box. You need to experience what it means to be God. You need to experience the knowledge that you're taking in, because you think you know, but you know nothing until you've experienced it. So this message is just to bring some consciousness back and make people think. Do not allow yourself to be triggered by everything that you see online. Do not allow yourself to be constantly going ahead with trends and fads, because that means you're not in control of your own reality. It means you're not in control of your feelings or your emotions or your energy, and that makes you a slave. Nobody has to put chains on you for you to be a slave. You could be a slave to your own thinking. You can be a slave to your own ways of being. You can be a slave to programming. You can be a slave to all kinds of things. But don't be a fool. Know where the power lies. Know what you give your energy to increases and grows. And know that your mind will accept things even if they're not real. So that's why you have to learn to master the mind. Because you were not the programmer originally, but you can be the programmer now. You can choose what you put into your consciousness. You can choose what defines your reality. But please don't make it be the internet that dictates who you are and what it is that you do. Okay, so that was just the guidance from Spirit today. To be conscious means to be awake. To be sovereign means to have the right to choose, to know who you are, to know your divinity, to know your grace, to know your power, to know you are God. You're already perfect, whole and complete. Nothing outside of you can define you. Your journey here is to know who you are and what your purpose here is. To be the truth. To bring change in whatever small way, even if it's just by you waking up and saying, okay, this is all a dream, but now I'm here to create my reality. Do not let anybody bind your soul with fear or guilt. You are a perfect being, perfect, whole and complete. Every mistake that you make in your life does not take away from that perfection, that wholeness or completeness. You're here to experience. You're here to make mistakes. Guilt and all of these, the deadly sins, so to speak, they're experiences. They're here to help you to understand divinity, to understand how to live and how to move. So no point judging the negative experiences, because they're all part of helping you to get back to your center. That's why there really is no good or bad. Everything is for experience. There is no light and dark. Everything is experience. But in order to experience, you must separate from the whole. You must come out from the whole, to observe, to try, to experience, to come off the ledge of knowing. But have no fear of being the glitch in the matrix, because it's needed. Okay, we're not all here to just sit here and be politely programmed into bullshit. And I'm not saying that the sanctity of life is not important. I'm saying it's very important. So when you sit down here sharing about people that have died, who are part of a system, everything happens for a reason. When I walk on the roads, I don't just look idly around. If I see birds, I know that that's for a reason. If I see this, I know it's for a reason. Be conscious. Be involved in your reality. And know that you are God. The only way that we're going to have change is if people start waking up. And I don't mean being woke, because being woke is putting yourself right back to sleep. You have to wake up. You have to really wake up. You have to really ask questions. You have to really go within. You have to really question everything. Okay, so as much as... Because even with that Kobe Bryant thing, I'm not going to speak too much on it because I can see the signs. The same thing happened with Whitney and her daughter, all at the Grammy time. This is a ritual time. This is a ritual that's been constantly done to usurp human consciousness. And they like to use melanated people too. Why? Because we are the seed. So you got to think about where you're putting your power and your energy. Certain lifestyles don't come for free. There's a reason why you get paid so heavily in those lifestyles whilst you're here. But this is not the real utopia. This is not heaven. So even if you feel like you have nothing materially, from you have light and love in your heart, you are rich. But they've programmed us into seeking riches and wealth outside of ourselves. But the point I'm trying to make is that there is a certain system, but it's not more powerful than us. It's not. And they know that. It's not more powerful than us when we wake up. That's why they still waste all the time trying to control the way that we think and the way that we move. Because even if it was just 10 of us who were thinking on the right vibration, it would bring amazing change in this world. So I just want to encourage each and every one of you to just think. Just think. Don't keep on going with the crowd. Do not keep on being triggered. You know who you are. So when they're using those words, they're not talking about you. They're talking about the entity that they've created with that word, the N-word. They have created an entity with it. They've given it a characteristic, a way of living. It even has a history. Don't be triggered. You are not that N-word. All the research that you've done to show you that you are not that, but yet you're still triggered. That means that somewhere inside you still believe that they're talking to you. And if you believe that they're talking to you, then you are that which you align yourself with. Start thinking, people. Please start thinking. Don't allow yourself to be triggered. And if you want to know something, go within. Not Google. Go within. Because it's better to have experienced something and failed than to only ask one source and think that that is it. You rob yourself of the opportunity to experience and to know more. One thing Tahuti said to me is that when you're in the pursuit of knowledge, seek and know everything that you can know and then empty yourself of that same knowledge and seek to know again with fresh eyes, because everything is always changing. Everything is always, has a different perception, because we are not the totality of the source. We are an aspect of the source, experiencing and observing itself. Okay? But please, seek within. Don't just be triggered by everything that you see outside of you. And also, build connections with those around you. Do not sit on this net building your life, building your friends, building your circles. Because when the lights go out, when this whole internet has been fully intercepted and you can't get onto it without your chip, what are you going to do then? When there's food shortages, if there are going to be for those unplanned, what are you going to do if you don't know your neighbours? You don't know anyone around you. You stop talking to everybody over ridiculousness. Think for life. Don't think for just right now. Think for life. Think about how to actually create an abundant life for yourself and those around you. Seek to remedy everything that's going on by being solutionaries, working together, thinking about, okay, how can we pull our resources together? Resource. The source is inside. To resource, to replenish, to reconnect, to return. Re is the sun. Ray is the sun. You are the light. And collectively, each one of us working together was what's going to bring this change on this planet. And I'm not just talking on a global scale. I'm just talking about even in your own community. We went into the new moon in Aquarius over the weekend. So all of this is about trying to usurp the building of this new reality. And the water bearer, Aquarius, for me, that symbolized the pouring of knowledge, but it's also the internet. Because if you pour too much knowledge, if you pour water and you don't control how you drink it, you're going to drown. So you have to know some discernment. You have to know how much to drink. Can't just be greedy. So, yes, family, I have not done a post like this in a while, but Spirit is speaking to me, because it is that season. It's the season where they harvest your energy, and they're doing it again. And so if you're happy to be a part of that, that's fine, and there's no judgment. But for those whose soul was just inquiring a little bit more and thinking something ain't right here, it isn't. But not even that's not even your business. What's your business is how you get yourself right. What's your business is how you live your purpose and live your passion and help to bring change into your community, because change is here. Your job is just to determine how it affects you, and whether you're a conscious part of that change or whether that change is imposed upon you. To be sovereign means to stand in your power. It's time for us to sit on the throne within our own hearts. It's time for us to stand on our square. It's time for us to stop debating and start doing. And I don't mean that as a way of trying to put down all those who are debating, because things start in the mind as a thought. And from thought there is the word. And from the word, all things came to be. And so we must speak, we must connect, we must think, we must build. But we also must do. We must take inspired action and release all fear and do. We must work together. We must lean on each other's light. That is the theme of this Age of Aquarius. Unity consciousness, understanding that we are all together collectively as one, and that when we work together we can build new worlds, new nations, new realities. And a new reality is based on a new thought and a new way of being and a new belief system. If I believe today that there is scarcity in my world, there will be scarcity in my world. If I wake up tomorrow and I'm saying, frig this shit, my life is abundant and everywhere I go there will be greatness, that's exactly what's going to happen. That's exactly what's going to happen. The law of the universe cannot be refuted by any man. In fact, those who have power know how to master the laws of the universe. They know how to exist within the consciousness of that truth. And so, that's what I wanted to share with you all today. I want to thank you all for holding sacred space and for being present. If there's anything you want to say, if there's anything that you'd like to ask, you're welcome to join in the conversation. But my spirit is just encouraging you all to wake up and really think about what you're doing when you're doing it. Vegan burger from KFC is not healthy. Okay? Mycoprotein, corn, all of these things, not healthy. The soya milk has estrogen in it, not healthy. You can make these things yourself, but all for the sake of convenience, you give away your life. Think about that for a moment.
Yes, part one. We're going to take a little musical break and we'll come back with something else. Education. I tell you, we're determined.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna lay it on musically. I'm gonna lay it on musically.
I'm gonna lay it down. I'm gonna lay it down from dusk till dawn. I'm gonna put it on.
You know I want you to feel alright. I want you to feel alright.
'Cause I'm coming on tougher than tough.
Da 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 da. Oh yeah.
See me keep telling us, say me do my thing different. Say we have a whole heap of people out there, sir. Yes. And we all do something different. But you see with me not change. You see, it different, but me not change. See? Because it's years we are suffer. And some of us, we can live a life. But we suffered. And our children suffer. And we've lost so much lives. And over this weekend, over last week, And already this week, many lives have been lost through this stabbing and drugs and all of these things. And we had, 5 young people them get 116 years. Because they went on a rampage and wounded so much other young people and kill one. Maybe it's 2. I don't know completely. All I'm saying is, if we're about change and development as African, Caribbean, black people, it's full time we change. It's full time we change. It's not mean change clothes. Change the way we view life. I tell you. See, my family, we still are going, you know. We have 102 on the clock. And we're proud of that. But you see what? We all will die. That's factual.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna lay it on musically. I'm gonna lay it on musically.
I'm gonna lay down. I'm gonna lay down from dusk till dawn. I'm gonna put it on.
You know I want you to feel alright. I want you to feel alright.
'Cause I'm coming on tougher than tough.
Da 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 da. Oh yeah. I will get along without you now. I will get along without you now.
I'll get along. I'm coming on strong. I'm coming on strong. So I'll get along. Oh yeah.
So don't you ever try to change my mind for that.
So don't feel blue. I love no one but you. Oh yeah.
La da 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 da.
You are cheating a liar. When you cheat,
You are a liar.
Are a cheat and a liar.
She's a cheat and a liar.
when she cheat,
When she cheat, she even move my feet.
I tell you.
She take the blues and she hold the fuse. Oh yeah. 'Cause she mean she's not real keen.
Bomber drop, damn you! You keep on running, but you can't never get away. Yeah.
Baby girl, you put down your stocking one arm and keep on rocking and swing. And let me see you do your
Look
thing.
at the love I give you.
Live it up.
And still you make no reply.
No reply at all.
Live in the place you hurt me.
gotta be bold. Huh? You got to reach out and touch and shoot and don't be cool. I beg you, baby. Huh? Do it, daddy. Unlike you never did before. Good guys, just keep them coming to me. Don't watch it one time. Got to leave it up as I would be, he says. Huh?
You keep on running, but you can't.
You
Never.
Never get away.
Never.
You broke my heart, so
You should never do that, you know.
got to pay.
Play Baba song to you. Huh? Play it all night long. And you could never be wrong when I play with songs. Give me the love and I'll never be rude. Baby, come on, I'll make you what you. Good guys, you got to do it.
You keep on running, but you can't. Never get away.
No.
You broke my heart, so
No, baby.
got to pay.
Never. Hit me back. Don't be trapped as I would be. Put on the strap and keep you rocking, guy. Give me back as I would tell it to you. I could never do before as I would say. Keep coming to me, though. Still, I want to see you make some. Live it up and never do that watch you. And let me see you do your thing and scream. Look at that.
From music.
For what you have done.
Now my selector. Now hear this. You little spit and chew son boy. You must think you can go by experience I will work. You must think I saw King Selassie I get him crowned. No.
Africa
no way.
is
You
ours.
got to work hard
And
for
I
it.
want us
Now
to
bring
guard
me
it
the
with
gold,
all
man,
our
son,
life.
make we lick it down. Come
Because
for it.
whether we like it or not, we have rogue lions already in Africa is ours. And I want us to guard it with all our life. Because whether we like it or not, we have rogue lions already in Africa.
The education continue. Listen carefully and keenly. Don't worry yourself. The music will come still. Don't worry that. Listen these things.
Africa is ours. And I want us to guard it with all our life. Because whether we like it or not, we have rogue lions already in Africa. Rogue lions are people that come into the country, they see the continent, they see that there are 1.6 billion people on this continent, and they will harvest us whether we like it or yes. Those particular people are the Asians, particularly the Chinese. Every single now and then, they are doing things every single day to make money, leave this continent every single day. It is also said that in the next 30 years, the population of the world would have increased by 2.5 billion people, and Africa will be responsible to 1.3 billion. Nigeria will increase to 350 million. Now, that is money, that is data. If we don't get ourselves ready to actually control the resources that we have here, we will actually lose it to rogue lions. Now, why I'm saying rogue lions is that you need to understand what a pride is. A pride is made up of the alpha male, made up of the female lions and also the cubs. The responsibility of the male lions is to provide security, provide protection around the pride. And that is the responsibility of government. Then you now have the female lions. Their responsibility is to find food. The male lions don't find the food, it's the female lions. That is what we have as businessmen. Every single one of us here are them. Then you have the cubs, which are the small baby lions. Their responsibility is to learn from the fathers and the mothers so that they can become dominant in future. There are certain phases of these lions that people do not forget or allow to slip by. When a male lion, especially a cub, gets to 3 years old, he has to leave the house because his genitals is able to get the female lions pregnant, so the alpha male doesn't want him. The first thing that happens to that male cub is that he's sent out to become a scavenger. Now, he has to understudy what it means to scavenge. The problem we have in Africa today is free food. When you chase a man, when you give a man free food, you stop the man from thinking. Your responsibility as an adult that is making money is to push your junior one out to the field and let them go and learn to survive. Because if you don't teach them how to survive, they'll become the next lions that will attack you. They become rogue lions to you. If you want to change, if you put cement inside a pipe, as long as it is still wet, you can always adjust it. But if that cement gets dry, you have to break it to change it. A lot of young minds in Africa have turned to hard cement. If you go to different countries in Africa now, the Asians have taken over. And what do the Asians do? If you ever read this book, Asia's New Continent, called Africa, what they have done is that they go to countries that are downtrodden and then they fund that country. Yeah. Now, what do? They only build infrastructure. They don't invest in your education. They don't invest in it. They invest in your infrastructure. When they invest in your infrastructure, they tell you to pay in 20, 30 years. What they know is that they have calculated. They are very good at mathematics. They know that you cannot pay in 30 years. So what they do is that they take the infrastructure and then they put their policemen in that country. So the agreement you sign, when you sign the agreement to take money from China, is that you build a community for them and they now send you in. Now, that contract that they signed, which government signed, especially most African governments, there are 3 things in that contract. It says that it will be built by a Chinese company if you want their money. Number 2, all the materials will be brought from China. And number 3, their personnel will build it. Any country or any assets that any Chinese company build, watch it. It's all written in Chinese. What does that mean? The maintenance will be done by them. By the time the maintenance is done by them, they have eaten your economy forever. You need to know this and know it now. Why am I saying this? I am 46 years old. I become 47 in the next few months. Anybody above 40 years old is out of this generation. So I tell myself I will never invest in anybody over 40 years old, because 40 is the end of a generation. Because investing in somebody over 40 years old is an investment in the past. Every single one of you here, a lot of you are under 40 years old. I need to pour out my spirit because my bones are not as strong as yours. I cannot run as fast as yours, but they are lions coming behind. In this same Lekki, there are Chinese people that have taken over buildings like this. They live in here. But inside that building, you have 52 Chinese people living inside. The whole of the ground floor are industries. They come here. They know that your Global Competitive Index report, you don't read it. And I challenge every single one of you to go and read that document, Global Competitive Index report, 2018, 2019. It will shock you about it, because what they do is that they read that report and they know where your problems are. They fix it. They know that you don't have money to buy generator. They know that you don't have money for fuel. They know that you don't have a lot of money. So what do? You don't have light. They give you rechargeable fan, rechargeable light. They give you all these things. They use your problem and they feed you. Not only are they dealing with Nigeria, they're dealing with every other continent in Africa. If Africa is ready to win, it will take you to come back from being a scavenger and come and defend the pride today. If you don't defend the pride now, rogue lions will come back and turn our children to slaves and turn our wives, which are the female lion, to work for them. When a rogue lion comes into a territory, the first thing he does is to kill the alpha lion. It kills the government. It takes over authority. Then if the female have children, they kill all the children. They turn all the children to pay all the toll gates, paid money for refurbishing airport. But the women, what do they do with them? They turn them to be their own wives and to reproduce after their kind. How come it is that we have in Nigeria here more Chinese people in different rural areas than we know? Go to Ikono, go to different parts, the hinterland. They know where the gold is in Nigeria. The problem in Taraba is not because we don't know. It's because Chinese have found out that there's gold there. So, Zamfara, they have found out that there's gold there. So they have gone there to harvest. Look at what happened in Ghana. They have broken the ground there. It has caused this erosion because they have defaced the whole of Ghana. Go to Calabar, the sticks that you have there, the wood now, deforestation is going out of hand. They have to tell the governor, better stop it or you will lose the whole of Cross River State. They will remove everything and send it back home. Right now in the whole of Africa, there's something they call it. They go to different countries specific and then they get it. So everything they get, all the minerals, go back to China. It's called neo-colonialism and it's happening.
To add to what you're saying.
Yes.
They supply the telecom equipment in the AU headquarters.
Yes, they built.
Spying.
No, so
they were spying on AU meetings.
I actually did a presentation in AU. There is actually, it was built by a Chinese company, and there's a Chinese temple beside it. Now, 80% of all the towers in Addis Ababa were built by Chinese company. Chinese towers, Chinese electric, Chinese every single thing. And it is a problem of their government. And listen to their document. Their report says that 80% of whatever is produced in China must leave the country. Whether it is first grade, second grade, fourth grade, 15th grade, it must leave the country. Chinese people do not even do the NSIS. They don't have time for that one. It is you that to deal with it. Whatever is produced in China, 80%. I will tell you a story in China as I want to end now. At a certain point in my time, I was doing telemetry systems to do remote monitoring, and this was done with GSM. So I didn't need to put up an antenna. I didn't want that. I wanted GSM-enabled equipment because at this point in this Lucky Phase 1, I was in charge of alarm center. So I knew this area, all the armed robbers and co, how to deal with them. But we had a problem. We couldn't be hosting masts, so we needed telecoms. So I spoke with a lady in China, and we communicated on Skype. And her name was Georgina or something like that. But so she said that this equipment will cost $100 a sample. So we paid the $100. She sent the equipment. The equipment worked perfectly. And I said, okay, I wanted to order 300 pieces of this equipment. But I said, for me to order, I need to come and see your factory. She said, no problem. They arranged with a few people. They got me an approval to come to China. I flew to Shenzhen in China. I got to their office. When I got to their office, I was shocked. The whole of their office, production plant, is a 3-bedroom flat. Wow. 3-bedroom flat. The parlor is the marketing office. 2 rooms are production. Her bedroom is 1. And she was doing international trade. She had staff that resume in the morning and close by 6 p.m. And also she has staff that come by 6 p.m. and close by 6 a.m. in the morning. Their marketing is 24 hours. Nigerians, why do we do business only in the day? We need to change the paradigm and start trading at night. Because once it is night there, they know that it is daytime here. So they market you. They market other countries. I want to challenge Nigerian businessmen, every single person that is here, better turn your own company into having a marketing unit that resumes at night, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Whatever money you make in the daytime, you can make twice as much in the night. My name is Ubon King, and I'm just a troublemaker.
Sounds called Black Lion. I and I, bound for Zion. Got to be a Iron Lion. Step out there. Till you say, hey, watch that. Zion gates are open wide for the children of Zion. So let your hands and heart be pure and clean. All around the red, gold, and green. Vale do vento mo, ma vale couldn't move the meadow. Dreadlocks vento mo, and naughty dread mo the meadow. Moses was a dreadlocks, Samson was a dreadlocks. I tell you, say, tell you. You're not a rebel, then you must be a devil. Look at that. Samson was a black man. Moses was a black man. Samson was a dreadlocks. Same leak up in chalice. Moses was a dreadlocks. Say no keep no malice. I tell you, say. Look at that. Hey! Vale do vento mo, a vale couldn't move the meadow. Dreadlocks vento mo, a naughty dread mo the meadow. Samson was a dreadlocks. You see him lick up in chalice. Moses was a dreadlocks. And he no deal with no malice. I tell you, Jack. I tell you, say. Hey, look at that. If you're are not a rebel, then you must be a devil. So move! Sounds called Black Lion. Got to be a hairy lion. But this sound is born for Zion. Look at that.
Things and times
Moses was a dreadlocks.
make you think.
You see him lick up him chalice. Samson was a dreadlocks. But you no deal with no malice. Move! I tell ya. But see ya. Hey! If you're not a devil, then you must be a rebel. Did you say? Rise the lot. Did you say? Silence when to move.
Instructions.
Dreadlocks when to move. I said the dread mother meadow. Look at that. Got to be a hairy lion. And this sound is born for Zion. Tell you, Samson was a dreadlocks.
Yeah, man. Serious instructions, you know. Listen.
Oh, if fat daughter. Oh, from my man know you I never see talk to an attitude. Pure Babylon and Bali. And when you tell it to me, that you see you on the corner, tell you, it's a Babylon. You got to give it to me, that you meet you on the corner. It's a soldier man. Tell you.
Have I told you, lady, that I love you?
Lick a solid daughter.
If I didn't, darling, I'm sorry.
Show me your motion. Till you. Lick a solid data. Show me your motion. Till you. Lick a solid data. Till you.
Now I realize that you need love too, and to spend my life making love to you.
Show me your motion.
I love it.
Lick a solid data. Till you.
So if I'm sorry, have I taken the time?
You go wine and we wiggle and we swing and we dine and we dip down there. About dip down there. Move! Till ya. Show me your motion. Because I weak the solid data. Sip up him eye shade.
I'm working for you, doing all I can, working all the time, you make me mad.
Oh, cause you're too lazy. Till ya. And if you go to work, move. I mean, meet you round the corner. Get a Babylon, meet you round the corner. Get a social oh, you fat daughter. From I know you I never see talk to a naughty trade. You a Babylon and Bali. Solid daughter. I just go in your salsa. I did it I did this up today. In your salsa.
Real good shower to make you taking the time to share with you.
Show me your motion. Lick a solid data. Come make me wiggle now we wine now we
And
down
I told you a little darling.
do you want till you we don't care.
And say you never do. I've been working for you, doing all I can, working all the time, didn't make me a man.
Cause you're too lazy. Brand or you wouldn't go to work.
Oh, let me breathe.
So I shade. The move come with
You got to start to do me one time. You got to start to do me. And then you shit you
solid data.
down there.
You was speaking on your salsa.
I got to be a lover.
You know, baby, that you meet you on the corner.
No worries, no worries. That's soldier man. Move. But yeah. And if you utter, you are born down.
Serious starter, you know. Yeah, man. And we love her just like that. I tell you. Fully dressed, you know. Yeah. Education, we are work with. You see? Yeah, man. Listen. Sata. Continually. Go on best. You're good, you know. 1000 version. What? The Sata man.
There is no night, there's only day. Look into the book of life and you will see.
That what? That what?
There's the land
Where?
far, far away.
Hey, children of the slaves. What happened?
The land far, far away.
And what did my mother say? Listen.
Santa Masagana.
Sister.
I'm on just a Satan. Satan Masagana. Oh, my chill you. Say Satan. Amasa.
Look into the book. And you will know that there's a land called Abyssinia. I shall not want. He come and make me to lie down in green pastures, and he surely restores my soul. Aye. Yeah. Mr. Jalide, Rasta Jalide. He made me to lie down in green pastures, and surely he restored my soul. And my father was a shepherd, and I will never did want. May I tell you? Yeah, you see. So we have something we bring, but I just want to hear the intro because it's long. So I'm going to bring it tomorrow. But it's still about what? Education. There's some people among us, you know, I follow them American counterparts with the way them talk about certain things. Not the American, no, some of them, you know what I mean, that deal with all this consciousness thing and always battling each other and so forth, yeah? It seems to like fun and excitement, but that's the way dancehall derogatory thing came to, fun and excitement, and then pure pornography, and we lost all our girl children at the behest of these things. The introduction does be what? A pleasing, you understand? For weak-minded people, lacking morals, you see? Yeah. Running away from the parents them and try hatch yourself. And then toes, you run into lap with a pure problem. So education is a direction that each one of us have to take and have taken. And it doesn't have to be in an institution. Yes, because it's life and it's what is expected. You see. Now, when one goes to train and be taught, there's a different sense of education from a higher level that is also required to deal with this capitalistic world, source of what them call democracy, which is hypocrisy. But nevertheless, to compete, one has to engage. No, why we, the children of the slave, have been competing or have been allowed to compete is theological education and practices that we have received. So that's why we are the way we are and the way we think and how we pursue certain things in life. And the man who set those standards, they know that very well. So I've been reaching out, and we should reach out to some of our African brothers and sisters on the continent and those who have similar mindset to us, who want to repatriate, who are activists, who see ourselves as sternly strong Africans because we have been remembering our ancestors, our great grandparents, mothers, and fathers. See, especially me. I can only vouch for me. And I know some other people that are the same. Now, leadership is what the African Caribbean did to bring to the U.S. See? And if you are check the history and you see when the last ones were killed and were in prison, you find so that there's a vacuum in that same place called America. Farrakhan is the last, but he plays with swings and roundabouts. That's the problem I have. And not the problem, really, it's not a problem. It's a difficulty that I have with someone who have lived and experienced the tyranny of politics and social constraints and racial bigotry, hatred, murder, and slaughter, but yet still is not anywhere close to Kwame Ture, for he is one of ours, natural. Listen.
How many of you want to be successful in this life?
Listen.
I need to see your hands. You want your children to respect you and be happy that you are their father and their mother in future. Very good. Very
father
good.
And mother,
now,
you
this
can't
is the
forget
picture
them.
of the Gatwick Airport in London. Now, this airport has broken records over and over and over and over again. It is the airport that has the largest number of passengers that fly one single runway. Every year, it flies 42 million people. 42 million. Imagine if that airport were in Nigeria, and everybody that was passing through that airport, spends only 10,000 naira. Do your mathematics. That's 420 billion naira. You will hear maths and numbers. If you cannot count, you cannot be rich. So let me start. It will be rough. I guarantee it will be very rough. If you cannot count, you cannot be successful. So if you want to succeed, learn to count. Now, so this airport is only one. Nigeria has 31 airports. 26 of these airports are managed by FAN, Federal Aviation Authority of Nigeria. Out of these 26, 5 of them are international. But put all the 26 airports, all the 31 airports together, none of them will compare to this airport. Next slide. The owner of this airport is a Nigerian. He's a Nigerian.
And this is Gatwick.
His name is Adebayo Gulese from Shagamu. From Shagamu. So Nigerians still make it. Next slide. Next slide. Now, in the medical profession, medical students are people that are close to God. Because as if God selects some of you that do medicine. Some of us were not in that category. You know, some of you are medical students here. You have learned. And I think that they are special because they tend to help God to protect life. They treat you. So if you're a medical person, I salute you here. Now, and that medical industry is a reference industry where people are very careful about. Now, last year, there was a situation that they said there was a child that was 23 weeks old in the mother's womb. And that child, when he was checked, the child had a tumor. So they needed to do something. Either the woman dies with the baby or they have to carry. So they called a particular doctor. And the doctor opened the mother, the woman, opened the womb, removed the baby out, opened the baby, removed the tumor, covered the baby, put the baby in the womb, and covered the baby, and let the baby stay 13 extra weeks before the baby was born. Next slide. The name of that doctor is Dr. Oluyinka Olutoye, a Nigerian man.
Now, you see, my encoder, see, should be able to show the video. So we are work with that, and the technician them and the right connections, and people will see instead of just hearing. And Gatwick, for those of you from the Caribbean, you know, not for one to just go there and get them flights there, you know. But I don't think, see, because you fly Virgin, you don't know, say that the place was bought out by an African. Yes. And the other proud things about the Africans in the diaspora, them can't take lazy, humbug, no ambition people. Them can't take it. So when this country here established this black middle class, which will be the best of our children, and some of us our grandchildren, and them alienate us because we haven't upgraded ourselves in any which we are farm, then you see where all the trouble going to start. Because some of the old nigger them would blame the astute Africans for that. And it'd be a lie. And then we're going to have pure alienation based on knowledge. Not where people are living in. Because these middle class ain't going to be living out there in suburbia. They're going to be living in the local working class zones. Them not going to go out there, sir. They're not wanted out there. There's a projection that is coming. And they will speak proper English. But their whole character, their mannerisms, and their choices of friends will be somewhat different. And that which they'll be exposed to will be so much different. But they'll be still next door in a working class area. Oh yeah. And they will have Sikhs, Hindus, Chinese, and everybody its friend. Because economics and proper decorum will be that which they require. Watch it. Garvey.
And I can heal your sin. I see, come on, riding. I'm coming through this the whole wide world.
Watch me now. Serious things, you know. Listen.
Never, never. We got to be here forever. Not trading, gonna run away. I cheated them long, so we got to stay ready.
And I think what I'm going to do, I got to pause that and come back with it a little more. Watch her.
We are going to beat down Babylon. One more time, beat down Babylon. We We are gonna beat down Babylon. 2 more time, beat down Babylon.
Trust no shadows after dark. For who wanna pirate?
Hey, tell one a friend them, man, and subscribe, you know, because me do my thing different. Trust me. Every time. Nothing the same. Nothing the same. Tell right.
I've been trying a long time, still I can't make it.
Why?
Everything I try to do seems to go wrong.
Because
it seems I have done something wrong. Why they trying to
pull
keep
up this
me
song,
down?
no, eh? This song, no, eh?
I've been trying a long time.
This one nice like Lenten, peas and Spanish rice. And a glass of more with 6 knock lines, so we gotta play it twice. Read him again.
I've been trying a long time, still I can't make it. Everything I try to do seems to go wrong. It seems I have done something wrong. Why they trying to keep me down? Oh, God bless, no one curse. Thank God I'm not the worst. Better must come one day. Better must come. They can't conquer me. Better must come, yeah. I've been trying a long time, but I can't make it. No one to give me an helping hand. They only trying to keep me down. Oh, God bless, no one curse.
thank God.
Thank God I'm not the worst.
Cause
Oh, my people can't see.
why?
They try to take advantage of me. Better must come. Better must come, yeah. Better must come one day.
And I believe it.
Better must come. Yeah.
You see? Listen.
We are gonna beat down Babylon. One more time, beat down Babylon.
Kicking face.
We are gonna beat down Babylon. 2 more time, beat down Babylon.
Trust no shadows after dark.
Can't do that.
For who wanna pirate a harbor shore? Trust no shadows after dark. For who wanna pirate a harbor shore?
Man called Junior Boys.
When will better come? Lord, when will better come?
Mighty Lee Perry
When will
Upsetter.
better
Black Heart Studio.
Lord, when will better come? All the promises that we get, we still not see no better yet. All the promises that we get, we still not see no
Tell your
better
friends them man and subscribe. Support us.
The one half a dozen of the other. If you jump from the frying pan
into the fire,
you end up in the fire.
I get burned.
All of them are Judas, can't you see?
I'm telling you, man.
Today they use you, tomorrow refuse you.
Choo-choo.
But let them elevate and have their fun.
Hear that word there? Elevate. Zin. You understand? And the Caucasian man, them never expect them to learn them kind of word, them, you know. You understand? I tell you, elevate, you know. Could you imagine? A Rasta youth. Yeah. Listen. At some time, in parents have to tell you, say, don't be too proud. Eh? Do not be too proud. Well, you must be respectful. See? Yeah. How much do you teach your children them something there? Them send them out naked. Listen. I'm never too proud, but I'm proud. Listen. And I don't know what too proud means, you know. Because I am very proud. You know, see? Well, I'll tell you. What a family. I tell you, man. Let go of the money. Behave yourself. Listen. This one I could get 7 versions.
Girl, I can't believe my ears. Are you really telling me goodbye?
I send this out now to my sisterins, them, you know. All of them. See? Here, Christine. Yeah, Nama. Yeah. Judah. Kathy. Altia. Sister Aicha. Oh. Sandra. Sister Dinah. Listen. And my sisters.
Girl, I can't believe my ears. Are you really telling me goodbye?
Yeah, you can jump around in your bedroom, you know. See? In your front room, your kitchen. Just dance. I tell you. Sweet. Subscribe. You understand? Support us. I tell you. Conscious. I'm my mother's child. Listen, too proud. Miss my brother. Listen. Sing, my brother. Sing.
Girl, I can't believe my ears. Are you really telling me goodbye? Said you've taken away my reason for living.
I'm
and
not
you
too.
don't even wanna tell me why.
Sing.
But before you go away, there is something that I've got to say.
Tell them.
Ain't too proud to beg you. Please, darling, please don't leave me, girl. Don't you chuckle so. Ain't too proud to beg you. Baby, baby, baby. Please don't.
You see, when you beg now, you're not beg for some sex, you know. You beg for some appreciation and good loving. You understand? Because you do what? You love her and respect her, man. And this is my mother, you know. Easy. Easy. I'm telling you. Decent children. You hear me? Honorable children. Control your mind. Sing, boy.
I can't believe my ears. Are you really telling me goodbye?
Tell a friend.
Said you've taken away my reason for living, and you don't even wanna tell me why. But before you go away, there is something that I
Have to say. Yeah, I'm not too proud.
Proud to beg you,
Baby.
please, darling,
Oh, mommy.
please don't leave me, girl.
Don't you go.
Don't you chuckle so. Ain't too proud to beg you, baby, baby, baby. Please don't leave me, girl. Don't you go. I know you wanna leave me, but I refuse
To let you go.
let you go. If I have to beg
I can plead for your sympathy. I don't mind, cause you mean that much to me. Ain't too proud to beg.
Sound sweet, eh?
Sunshine, blue sky, please go away. My girl has found another and gone astray. With all within my future, my life is filled with gloom. Day after day, I sit locked up in my room. I know to you it might sound strange. Hey, but I wish it would rain. Oh, I wish it would
See?
rain.
I tell you, man, we're up there. You know what I'm saying? Go on. For all them people that remember Metro, see, the Metro 9, my brother named Kaja right now. See, listen. Big tune.
The love.
The Metro is in Labrador Grove, Westbourne Park. It was. Also give the birth to Aswad. Dashiki. Fee Size Foundation. Ujima. And many, many, many more. Grassroots. Oh, God, I forgot that. High Society. Paddington Terror. Observer. Brimstone and the Fire. Hey, that's the whole of Labrador Grove, you know. Matumbi. Sufferer. Yeah.
hear my voice and I know them and they follow I. Said I'm talking to you, sugar.
Sugar.
Honey.
Sugar, sugar, sugar.
Junior.
You are my candy girl. And you got me wanting you. Yeah, honey,
Brown, brown, brown.
honey, honey, honey.
For my candy girl, and you got me wanting you. Ooh, honey, honey. Said you are my candy girl, and I got you.
Sugar, 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 sugar. Honey, 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 honey.
Honey, I'm choo-choo, honey. Tonight sit up on the kingdom. Cha-cha-cha-cha kingdom. To me now the kingdom. Singing out his own civilization. Now me so me know the sound of revelation. Give me the sound of sugar. Think of it and gone so a sugar. Yeah. Love it, love it, love it. Tell me, love it, love it, love it. Tell me, love it, tell me, love it. Tell me, love it, tell me, love it.
You see, sometimes people them think say that them come through a certain things. Hey, love me. What I'm to now? This is a special request goes out to Big T, Tony, family. Yeah, man. Respect. Irad, Metro.
After you, cinnamon, change your ways. The preacher man said it's loudly, a new world is coming. You better be prepared. To live loving, cheering and heart.
tunes like that you have to understand. You know what I mean? I'm telling the Rastafari youth them we too spiritual for even our parents, them who's well older than us. See? Yeah.
We got to stay right here.
When the right time comes.
So we gonna go running no further. All of the cats gonna be charged for murder. Yeah. Treason, felony, and what she got.
When the right time comes.
My Tigers dog, this man was back from Buzzrock. When I Tigers dog, got he coming down from the rhythm track. Well, Diamonds would say, now T-Dread they gonna run away. T-Dread got to stay right here. Ain't gonna run away. Who keep your nose before I puff up me blows, eh? Yeah. Who lost some fun? When I'm on the town, I tell you, got to move around and keep your little feet off the ground. And daddy come down. Never. Not to dread. We down in you and I tell you. If I hate it, me he not the dread. And if I dread it, he never.
Hold on! This one night's like Lenten, peas and Spanish rice. And a glass of more with 6 block lines, so we gotta play it twice. Remember
when the round chase man say, time I go chase ya. Every gully I go run away. Even man.
Some more be with 6 block lines, so we gotta play it twice. Rhythm again!
I never know how much I love you. I never know how much I care. When you put your arms around me, I get this feeling that's so hard to bear. You give me fever when you kiss me, fever when you hold me tight.
See, we have a thing called the maestro, you know, in my fingers.
I love you. I never know how much I care. When you put your arms around me, I get this feeling that's so hard to bear. You give me fever when you kiss me, fever when you hold me tight. I love you, never know how much I care. When you put your arms around me, I get this feeling that's so hard to bear. You give me fever when you kiss me, and fever when you hold me tight.
I wonder how much people remember Hercules. Eh? You remember Hercules? Yeah, so Lord Poor. Yeah.
Calling the meek and the humble. Welcome to Blackboard Jungle. So don't you fumble, just be humble.
I play them tune inside my house. My mother asked me, where you go, what you're doing? What kind of noise that?
Calling the meek and the humble. Welcome to Blackboard Jungle. So don't you fumble, just be humble.
Hercules and Cascades and Sheringham Road, Tarleton Park, Whittington. Dubwise. Lee Scratch Perry, Black Art Studio, Vibrant Prairie. One week we must play the King Tubby piece in Mixer King Tubby. Yeah. Black Harmony, Tipper Tone. Mafia Tone. Sir Christopher. Nikolai. Quaker City. You see, them time them is a youth, I play with my preamp, you understand? And my mother support me. You see, wicked. And I have to beg, steal, or borrow nothing. Guidance.
Well, yeah, it's alright. No fussing on fight. Your heart and soul you must give to Jah. Your heart and soul you must give to Jah. Your heart and soul, yes, your heart and soul. It doesn't profit you nothing to gain this world and to lose your soul. It doesn't profit you nothing to gain this world and to lose your soul. Your heart and soul, yes, your heart and soul. You must give to Jah, give it to Jah.
See, hear them words there? I saw parents them raise you, you should be good. There's some people that don't get the privilege. Because just like that Bible tell you, children be begotten children. And on that we come and see, because that them educate you to do. And then we are living among the same heathens, and we adopt their ways. See? So we finish up now with a generation of children that have children. And the children that's supposed to be the parent of these children is afraid of them own children. What a problem.
Well, yeah, it's alright. No fussing on fight.
It's an imminent threat, you know. I tell you. I use them words there because them man, they bash that thing all about the place, and them play some Hollywood things with people, changing the whole world construct and everything, and showing himself as a bully. Also, I keep trying to tell you now, he's Nero. He's reenacting Nero. I could be 300 years, 400, 500, whatever it is. I saw them people and behave, and I saw them stop. Them follow that which them believe is the best of themselves and trample on other people them to show that them can flex. Eh? So, we who say we are God-fearing, should it not that we were praying or we lack praying? Something's wrong. You understand? That's why the heathens them seem to be advancing. And the God-fearing people them seem not to be doing anything. You understand? So the heathens then will continue. You understand? And it's nothing to do with courage, you know. It's just whether we accept the right path. You see? The right path. Oh, you children, sons and daughters of Adam and Hawa, Adam and Eve, understand you who your creator is. And don't divert. You see? And we can put an end to this racial bigotry and all this hostility and all this powerfulness. See? This hatred and animosity of other people. Al-Quds, Jerusalem, will never be surrendered. You understand? Serious thing. You see? Because our mass is there. And you're not digging it down and you're not having it. It's not possible. Your intention, but Allah is the planner. While you plan and plot, Allah is the best of planner. You see? So all those who understand what me I say, this is not Hezbollah or Hamas. This is Sally Hisham Lookman Best. You see, that man, they don't frighten nobody but himself. If somebody shout out right now, Allahu Akbar, that man, they dive down on the floor. And everybody around him believes there's something going wrong. You understand? Him scared like puss. And they big up him chest with people him can frighten. It's a shame. And now we have our Prime Minister here. Him going to start flex himself too. You see? They're birds of a feather and they will all flock together. But if we were sincere people and following God Almighty, instead of some make-believe something, which is Paul and then bar Jesus. You see? Because this is what people always find a problem with. And they're not brave enough to say, you know. That's why when they want to talk, them say, religion cause war. A people do that. And if it's religion in that verbal content, it is Europeans. See? Oh yes. And the Muslim them that says Christianity, Judaism and everything, Al-Quran don't say that. It says the people of the book. And it speaks about Bani Israel. And it speaks about Musa alayhi salam. And it speaks about Isa alayhi salam. And the followers of each of them. So, if at Antioch, Christianity was formed, and if at Antioch and Constantinople, this thing called the Bible was put together, written, rewritten, and re-edited, and so forth, where's God in all of this? And where did the name come from? I don't understand my brothers, them who have an Arabic tongue, but yet still they might use an English transliterated tongue telling something that is not authentic. It's not so. They're pleasing the people and causing problem. Because if the wider population of this country understand truth and know truth, they would make their decision because it belongs to Allah and you touch them soul. It's not about persuading, it's about speaking and living according to truth. And that's the truth that we all require, that will set our souls free. Not the one that keep people in bondage and false hope and pretense. And the Prophet of Al-Islam never name anyone or call anyone Christian. And the Negas of Abyssinia never called themselves Christian, are followers of Christ. How could they? That word, that thing wasn't around. It's when these Europeans got them self-involved in something that them bring up these names. And if it was around, who bought it? Because then it'd be a late thing that came with Isa alayhi salam. Hence, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would have to have told us that he sent Isa with a new faith called Christianity. And him never said that. So, we are told to say that Al-Islam is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. And it's always been that. So where you try to tell these people something, see, it's we Muslims along with the Unitarians, that's causing the problem. That's caused the problem. Not delegating and speaking and projecting truth as it has been revealed to us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by way of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Serious thing, easy, no complications. So children and everybody who are innocent should never be growing up being afraid of man. Some ugly, old goddamn man and men. And for them time to flourish in this earth just like birds. But no, we bring them here and then find fear. As soon as them can stand up and walk about and communicate, it's fear them find. When them just little tapouts, they're happy and pleasant and smiling. Let them get 3 and 4 and 5. I frighten them frightened. And them I ask God to take them home from this miserable place that they don't even experience. All the soul see something that's wicked and them frightened. Children, have a look. Those of you who don't understand what the hell I'm saying, have a look at children. Little children. They're innocent. And they're in this world and they're afraid. They're not afraid of you. They're afraid of what vibes there are in this world. Because the old folks, them has messed it up. And all these power heads, these people that seek power, and every one of us is going to die. Religious people, speak the truth and tell them, listen, let us have a enjoyable, lovely, God-fearing innings, because we will surely die. No. These preachers, pastors, allow the people them to stay the way they are. And the next one will come up and want to control some territory, which is what? Land. Then they want to extract something from the land for themselves. And then there's poverty that they have created, and hatred and everything. And it goes on. And human beings behave, a mass proportion of human beings behave like they don't realize what the hell is happening, and it has been happening. And then them fight up them one another, and them have the audacity to tell the rest of us it's a world war. And then them do it again, and them say Second World War. And then make the preacher them preach now for 70-some goddamn years, which is nearly 100 and something years, about the final battle is going to be Armageddon and there. And they're just tempting to bring it about. Wicked. Have you not seen? Or is it because Hollywood does what they do, everybody thinks that we're living in a world of theatrics? It's true, it's pure theatrics, but it's real. They just go around killing people and bloodying people's nose up and mashing up the soil. The same soil that they're going to be buried in. We don't know where, but we are going back there, going in there, somehow, somewhere. So this is why I have a big problem with pastor. You know, pastor is not a shepherd. He's not leading nobody. He's just a make granted money and I follow a script from the same headquarters of the same set of people and have this thing that they just tell people, and people that dream about milk and honey and all kind of different things, and we could have all the milk and honey and we still get sick, and we can take all the milk and honey, and when our life is expired, it's going to happen. Just like that. So why not try and project the truth, let people have some harmonious life, and I can know my neighbor, and my neighbor can know me, and rare, and nobody can see white and black, but we know say exist, but we know that the best thing that is existing is that we cherish each other as human beings, citizens of this earth. But nah, someone come and make borders and boundaries and passports and all kind of damn thing like this and create hostility. I want to see them fight when them dead. You understand? I want to see them do that. This one say my bone is bigger than yours and my hole is better than yours and I have clay and you have dirt and your dirt is gray and the other one say, no, my dirt is black and I don't like it. And oh, crying out loud. It's kind of, hey. I've said all these things to young people and they stand still and stare and some of them start fret and cry. Yeah, I don't say it like this. I say it slower. And just said, please do not grow up to be like us old people. Try and grow up and always want to be smiling with people and have a happy innings. You know, because you don't know when it's going to come. People can get sick and catch a disease or something like this thing are going here right now. You see, them things are man-made. God not do them things to us. All these wicked disease and plagues and all kind of something that happens, God not send them to us. And we do them things to ourselves, wanting to make more money and wanting to change creation. When I share the food, but nowhere try make food to make money, called GM food. And the place that them experiment with these food is in Africa. God damn, that's another problem. Everywhere we think to run that we want to go, the people are already poisoned. And anytime you see them leave somewhere, that's exactly what has happened. Them poison the place already, and them just leave it and gone somewhere else. And now them have these things called drone, which we used, perhaps we used to tell you, say, are UFOs. The man braver than brave now, because if him not like me, him send a drone across here and zap me. Him not say beam me up, Scotty, and I'm just say get rid of him. And then him go tell the people, him say, he's got rid of this nasty. And not even the Pope have opened his mouth. I mean, come on. They say the Pope is a representative of Christ or Jesus or something on earth. And he don't open his mouth at all. He don't go to the United Nations and say, stop it. What is hell does happen in this so-called European supremacy? See, the black guys them that taught this bullshit, they are idiots. It's supposed to make them people them know, say, you're not frighten me. Yeah? I will die, you will die too. You understand? And I don't want you to kill me. I want God to take me or just age to just run out. You understand? And that's all we want. You know what I mean? It's not cricket and basketball, you know, and football. This is life. Them excite our children with computer game. The children play the game, shoot people, stab people, all kind of thing. And all of a sudden, no, they're high on all kind of sweet juices and all kind of thing. And then someone come and seduce them into some other kind of narcotics. And then take all of these things to look at the game that they was playing and then believe it's real. You can get a 13-year-old, 12-year-old, 14-year-old, 15-year-old deciding, they're not even soldiers, deciding to kill someone. And they're not just deciding, they're doing it. They're not talking about it. It's premeditated. Is that what it's called? When them just deliberately. This is sad. And I don't hear the Pope again. And I don't see all these pastors and imams them rallying around and saying enough is enough. And call the prime ministers and president them to book. No, it's like a normal thing. Yeah, murder's a normal thing. Death, yeah, that's normal. But why? This one is, there's no war, but yet still people are behaving like say there's a war. And the children is behaving like say they were trained. You know what I mean? Soldiers are trained to go out there and battle people and kill other people. That's sad as well. That's very sad. So you see, when people don't talk about Al-Islam, the Prophet never raised no army. The Prophet had followers, people who wanted to say La ilaha illallah. Then just find that this is a better way, and them try that, and next thing you know, the amount that was only 25, 30, 40, 70 become 1,000, 2,000. Next minute when you look around, him can't even count. He couldn't. None of them followers them could believe what has happened. Because all different villages, all different tribes, different borders, they were just there. Muhammad, we're with you. Muhammad, we're allegiance to you. Yes. No one can write that the Prophet raised an army of 30,000 people and decided him to go to Mecca and control the place. No. Him decided that they might go Mecca for Hajj. And when the leadership saw how much people are come to him say, woof. And what did the Prophet say? Do not hurt anybody. Do not do anything to anybody. Don't touch none. And those of you who came from here, you can go visit your family. But don't browbeat, don't do nothing to anything. And that was fully understood. And that's the most beautiful thing that's ever happened in this life, besides what happened with Moses and Pharaoh and what happened with David and Goliath and all these other people. We have to understand. Pastor, you don't know them piece of history. You need to read. And stop reading that book. And if you're reading that book, try and get a proper translation and understanding, and then interpret it for us. For us. To be better people, upright people, loving people, sincere people. But we need to have back our women, Pastor. You understand? We need to have them back. We can't have our women, we're not producing nothing. And if our women is being degraded, the fruits that them going to bring is going to be soil. You don't understand this genetics. What? The only biology you know is to sex them. Come on, man. Come on. So we need to evaluate ourselves. Seriously. Because like my brother say, you know, when you pass all 40, then the energy more for run and everything. You know. You understand? So we've had our innings, and we're not setting nothing right for our children them now. And the transition is near. This is a sad state. Sad. It's a change up and fly right. Luciana, we are going. God willing, we're there tomorrow. God willing. And you see what I mean by that now? This minute, me get up from here, me can pass out. I'm going to go asleep and don't get up. I'm going to try to think me asleep and don't get up. You understand? So, Allah willing, God willing, you understand? Tomorrow. And between that tomorrow and the time, something else could happen. You see? So nobody put down life. So that's why when we get the opportunity, we should live life. I mean, have a tune like that, you know. Live some life. Lovely tune. Anyway, we're gone. Luciano.
Sweet like the grave.
Hey, listen. That's the way I am, you know. Don't think so this is how me try to be.
Read him up! Oh! I saw you on labor!
Go ahead, wait. Hey, you! Hey, you over there! You!
Oh! I saw you on labor!
Go ahead, wait. Hey, you! Hey, you over there! You! Hey, you, sir! Sweet like the grave. Don't let it be a cliche.
Hey, you see, when we talk about the women, every man should and supposed to love a woman, because him could never come here without a woman. So I'm supposed to, we should have total respect and honor for women, without doubt. No dally. Because if me disrespect a woman, I'm disrespecting a woman that born me. You know, sometimes you get angry and you hit out. But me not talk the hit out. I talk disrespect, undermine, undervalue, and turn her into something that she's not. Because me I follow some other people that this thing that they do is not ours. It's not part of our modality. It's not part of our culture. It's not part of us. Me just follow some madness. And then me want to go see this madness and get some kicks. And then I go find some woman now and they go tell her, say, me fancy her, me love her, and a lie. It's total lie. Because that other thing that you was doing and the way you see them other people, how come this one you know that you want to tell us you love her and everything? Why? You've seen that over there. It's a disease. You've seen it over there. And you have no respect for it. So what makes you come and tell me now that you see my daughter and you love her and you want to marry her and you want to have children with her? You're lying, star. There's no room for you. And that's why a lot of you can't take Islam. That's why we can't take it. Because the things we have to do and the things we can't do. And there's someone out there try to dot up for you women, and soon the news going to come out and the different things going to come out on documentary to show how we have dealt with this type of behavior. Because we have the Asian them, you know, Upper Yorkshire that do some filthy thing. But you must understand something. It's a mixture of different peoples. So we now see that we don't have some filthy, rotted guys them. You understand? And why don't the court them dash them way? Why didn't they dash them way? A couple of Ahmeds with a couple of other names and other things. Them should have been dashed way. But we're talking about the African. We none of them thing there. Serious problems. Pastors, I'm telling you, turn your heads them round. And you have these one in Africa, give people them bleach, God damn it, give people Dettol and all kind of thing. Some serious problem. That's what I try to tell you, that thing is not ours. It's not ours. And the evil of it, the evil that comes around that doctrine, that teaching, and that lying, can't you see, it's very wicked. A man I go look at some beautiful sisters them in them congregation, and his sexual lust, him can't control. But he must show the people them say how he's a boss, and call them up to the altar and fill them up in front of hundreds of people, grandmothers and mothers and fathers and grandfathers, and not one of them ratted get up and clap him and dash him out. No, they sat there. Watch that. And sing and read and all kind of something. And this was a religious ceremony. This was a church. These are some of the biggest church on the continent. Biggest followings. Not some little diggy little place. What are we coming to? When my screen thing work out, you got to see all them something in them. I got to dash them away. Because some people have said, I lie, I tell. A lie, I tell. He might go and say he's a Muslim, you know. He might go and say, no, it's not lie. Why you tell lie for?
Straight like the grave. Loving.
And we have sisters them suffering depression because some folk like me targeted misuse them and abuse them. Yes. And put them under some serious depression. And leave them with a bundle of children too. And him just go around talk about him as a Mr. Activist. I him need for dash way. Some of them same sister them and those women, the pastor them do help resurrect them. But at the same time, him help himself to them. Because they're weak at that point. And they're weak spiritually, and they're weak emotionally. And this the term I use is weak, they're just frail. And a man who know life, know the wicked world, take advantage of situations like that. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. So where's the religious police? Where's the police of the pastors? There's none. So these sisters them keeps going back, and the depression don't change, and then finish up in mental health wards. Because the depression is so serious, so severe. Antidepressants they're on. Who's helping them? And then the care service take for them children now. And we have pure the thing just escalates. And because they had a bad innings with them parents because of this man, now the children don't have anybody and they don't have anybody. And then parents are go through some hard things because they've been mentally depressed from the beginning. So they don't feel too fit. They have their own arthritis, rheumatism, high blood pressure, and everything. Now they don't have a child for help take care of them. Now, could you imagine a black family in care, eating mashed potatoes and what's that other thing name? The small cabbage, sprouts, eh? And some beans. That takes them out. Then become frail, fast. This is what we're doing, man. Just because popular radio don't talk about it, and all the other stations that we got don't talk about it, you see, okay, gone. My blood pressure will go up now. I'm gone. Mom, easy.
Whoa, when you say you love me, please express. Don't let it be a cliche with words I love to hear. Show me that you mean it straight from the heart, and not just word of mouth, but by your doings and thoughts. Oh, love means never to leave.
is not jealous, nor contrite. Love is courteous, colorful and bright. Love is forgiven, and love is always upright. Love, love, love. Oh. Love is not bashful, nor vindictive. Love is not scornful, it's always positive. Love is never weary. Love is willing to give. Oh, 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 hey. Love means never to leave me lonely. Love means never to make me worry. Love is spiritual, faithful and kind, reflection of the soul, expression of the mind. Love is patient, always encouraging, pure and beautiful, and love is so divine. Love means never to leave me lonely. Love, 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 love. Love means never to make me worry. Love means never to leave me lonely.
Guidance. Yeah, man. That nice. Yes. Guidance teacher was